Welcome back to the Teachers AI Cafe. I'm Kane, a teacher and a parent who wants AI to give us back our time. I share practical classroom-tested AI strategies to cut down your workload, improve your feedback and reduce stress so you can get your evenings back and be more present with your friends and family. No jargon, just actionable steps. Grab your mug. Now let's get going. Welcome back to this week's AI update for educators. Once again, it's not a massive change. There's a few interesting things that have come out. Today is Monday, the 6th of July, everywhere in the world, all at once. Funny that. So what's happened in the last week? Google's NotebookLM has added short video overviews. I've had a bit of a play with this. I think these are pretty cool. They turn notebook content into 60-second vertical videos with narration and generated visuals. I've made a couple of these at the moment. I need a bit more refinement on my prompts. The feature is rolling out across Google Pro and Ultra subscribers in English, and wider access coming later for people in other non-English speaking countries. And the fact that NotebookLM can do podcasts, cinematic videos, visual explainers, a new short option pushes, which is, I think, is very good. 60-second recaps vertical. Is that engaging to your students? That's the format they're used to nowadays. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. We'll find out. I tried two different ones. I tried one which is just the content, which is the fall of Singapore for history. And they did some good stuff, animations. And then I dropped a whole lot of pictures in there, like historical images, primary sources, and got they to do that. And it did well, but the animation wasn't as good. But like I said, I didn't really put a full prompt in there. I relied on its own process. The only specialty I put in there was tell it to make it for middle school history middle school history classes. Don't know where that came from. I guess in terms of where you can use this, I guess things like sets of notes, reading, source material can turn into a short visual explainer for students to watch before class or revise. At maximum 60 seconds, they're very good. I'm interested to see whether I can get it to actually make some videos, because I've been playing around with making historical videos using like seed dance, but you could do them at 15-second increments and then join them together. So I wonder if this can actually do a bit more than that. Time will tell. So for teachers, for mainly senior science, what has happened? Anthropic has launched Claude Science, a new research workbench aimed at scientists. Like I said, this is more of a senior school type arrangement. Reuters reports it's designed to help research analyse data and manage computing workflows, streamline research processes. On the surface, sounds a while away from school. But like I said, if we're using things in industry, we should be bringing those tools actually into the classroom. The fact that I think it's free at this stage, I'll have to double check that. The idea is if we can get these tools that simulate what happens in the actual workplaces, in these professions, that's actually very good for us. What else is happening? Obviously, after the export restrictions, we've been restored access to Claude Fable 5. I've been working on 3 different projects. I've actually finished with that fairly quickly. It's got some new targeted safety filter that is designed to block prompts, asking the model to identify software vulnerabilities and right to exploit code. That was one of the concerns. Same reasons. We got OpenAI update was delayed or modified for exactly the same issue. So the reporting suggests the filter catches very specific techniques most of the time without changing the core model itself. It's obviously got some safeguards built into it. In terms of our context, it's really just showing that AI companies are increasingly responding to risk. I guess in the US situation, it stops them getting sued if something goes wrong. But the idea is we start to build these models which are more fit for purposes more than specialist people. Say in the class, people outside the classroom and people in the classroom. What else is OpenAI's most concrete new item? This is smaller, but it's interesting. Although the company is teased Codex hardware device, it's working with a company called built with Work Louder due to a fuller reveal on the 15th of July. Oh, that's like next week in a bit. Earlier reporting suggests that it's a compact controller with programmable keys designed to make Codex workflows faster and more tactile. So I'm wondering if this is something you got things like OpenClaw, whether you can use then Codex, one of these devices, to do what things like OpenClaw. You don't have to go buy, say, something like a Mac Mini to run these systems for you. Time will tell. And I guess in terms of this is relevant to maybe computing teachers and students, I said AI is moving from beyond software into a sort of a hardware workflow sort of type tool. Maybe heading to a world where AI support is not something that's on the screen, it's actually built into the desk itself, for example. Though the way the world has reacted with screens and things and the banning of lots of different tools and mandating non-screen time, it's probably a long time coming, except in specialised labs. But I guess if you look at things like students learning code, can make AI assistance feel even more immediate and normalised. So I think Google reporting massive. They created an AI tutor for people in maths in the third world, and they say it increased almost a year's worth of advancement of students using the system. The data still hasn't come out about that. A lot of it's beyond paywalls, bits and pieces, and no real specific detail. But I do believe AI tutors catered specifically for students will have a huge impact on our learning programs. What will happen is it'll make them work and push through and go through the process of actually learning on top of that. So anyway, interesting that when we actually get more information in that study, so it was a bit vague at the moment. On a lighter note, Google's own example, part of the new NotebookLM short videos, was a rapid explainer of Australia's failed war on the emus. I think it's a popular thing to cover here in Australia, a good novelty for other people. I was actually going to make a short video myself, but I probably will with a bit of context for my students. It's a bit hard to think of a more Australian reminder that AI in education does not always need to be solemn. It can be fun. Sometimes the most useful feature is one that helps students get an entertaining foothold in a strange story before the deeper learning begins, or create that spark of that interest. Because often if you put something in a funny way, they remember that more than all the other content that we actually do. So once again, enjoy the updates. I will have a Wednesday episode this week. I got very busy for end of term last week for my students. We had our parent-teacher day as well on Wednesday, and that didn't give me a chance to sit down and really come up with a good episode. But I've already organised one for this Wednesday. It's myself going on. But like I said, if you're interested in coming on and talking about your AI journey, whether at the beginning or you're a master, I definitely want to hear from you. Talk to you soon.